When you're ready, go ahead and share the screen, Rahul. We'll have a quick review.
Okay.
Okay. Pardon me. And copy. Okay. Also, can you log into the controller, Rahul?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think where were we? We were looking at the Docker. So just
Yes.
we start with the history, Rahul, for a moment. Let me see if we were on Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Were we performing our operations on Ubuntu? Is it root? Docker, I know, generally is root. Can you scroll up, please? Pardon me. So searching and segment my service. Okay, this is all. Okay, I think what was that one? I think just to log into the root for a moment, Rahul. We should be able to find all our Docker commands. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So let's have a quick review. What do you think is Docker, Rahul? And others, please try to help and maybe put your answers in chat window also if you can.
Docker is the container engine, or we can say it is a ship where we can run the container.
Good answer. More precisely, Docker is used for creating containers. So just like a ship carries a group of containers, we are using Docker. It's a platform to create and manage the containers. This is one way to think of it, buddy. Okay. What do you think of container?
Container is it is like a virtual machine, but without operating system.
Very
it
good.
Contains only software and independent library.
Excellent. Super simple answer. It's like a lightweight VM. The main advantage is it doesn't carry its own guest operating system. It will work with the host operating system using the Docker. And it acts like a lightweight VM. It has its own IP and things like that. Okay, buddy?
Yes.
And let's see. That's more here. We are looking at the Docker. Can you scroll up a little bit, Rahul?
Yes.
Facts is Ansible again. Let's see what were we. Ansadmin. What was okay? I don't see a lot of Docker commands here. Can you log in as Ansadmin? Maybe we were performing all the Docker commands there. Switch to Ansadmin. Pardon me. Sorry about that. This is Roll Ansible. By any chance, do you remember where we were performing all the Docker commands?
Maybe we are performing on this worker node 1.
Node 1. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Please log into Node 1. My bad. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, well, that is coming up. By any chance, do you remember what is the main advantage of Docker container, Rahul?
We can run this container in any environment. It will perform same. That is the main advantage.
Excellent. So who gets benefited out of it?
Both team, developer and operation team. So the container can work same as in the development environment and testing environment everywhere.
Very good. Excellent. Keep it up. Let's see. Start with history, please. I think you need to get into maybe try getting root. I think it looks like the last one was root. Now history. Now, there you go. Okay, let's see what we have here. Run the Jenkins and let's see. What is Docker RM?
Docker RM is to remove container from the running as well as the exited container.
Okay. What is the difference between image and a container?
Image is image. We can say it is when we run the image, it creates the container. Image is static, means it contains all the blueprints or what we say.
Good answer.
Yeah.
More simple answer. Okay. So image is what is Docker. Container is what is container. An image can contain one or more containers.
Yeah.
Now here's a slightly tough one. Line number 193. Can you explain me what is going on there? That's a slightly deep one, Rahul.
We are running the Jenkins container and we are doing port mapping.
Good one. What does port mapping do?
Port mapping, we are mapping the port of this container to the port of the server.
Good answer. More precisely to the Docker host is what it is. So we are exposing.
Yeah.
What do you think is Jenkins?
Jenkins is a CI/CD tool which is used to which contains a lot of plugins.
Excellent. So in other words, Jenkins is a web server which is used for CI/CD. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is Docker pull?
Docker pull is to pull the image from the registry, Docker registry.
Good answer. And let's see, what is line number 181 doing?
We are running the container in detached mode in background and doing sleep for 1500 seconds.
Excellent. And let's say, okay. So if you sleep for 1500 seconds, what is the problem? Slightly confusing question, simple answer. Sorry about that.
It will keep on running in the background for 1500.
Good answer. So in other words, there is no problem. We just have to wait 1500 seconds without doing anything.
Yes.
So what should we do?
We need to we can stop container.
Good answer. So in other words, that's why we are running in a detached mode so that we can come out of it, and if we want, we can stop it.
Yes.
Okay, slightly tough one. What do you think is inspect?
Inspect give all the details about the container in JSON format.
Gives you the detailed information of the container, including its network, storage, and other kinds of volumes involved in it. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And let's see, what is cat etc release doing?
And yeah. It is showing the version of this Ubuntu container.
Okay, scroll up, please. As simple as that. So in other words, that is just displaying the version of the Ubuntu is what it is.
Yeah.
And let's say, okay, now here's a slightly tough one, Rahul. I don't know if you remember. 168, explain please.
We are mapping the volume of our host to the container here.
Excellent.
For MySQL.
So what is the advantage of that?
If we, in case if the container gets killed or we remove the container from the which is running, then we can, if we use the same volume, then we can have all the data which we were having previously.
Excellent. So in case if we delete the container of the MySQL, we can still have the data retained. Okay.
Yes.
Good answer. And let's see, what do you think is Redis?
Redis is the we use for the caching purpose.
Very good. It's in-memory caching database. Cool. And let's see, scroll up, please. What is line 154 doing?
We are running the command on the running container. Exit.
Very good.
That command.
Excellent. The command is being run inside the container as it is executing. We're attaching. So behind the scenes, it attaches it and executes it. And see a little bit up, please. I think these should all be pretty straightforward. Keep going up. Pretty straightforward, and I think we should be able to understand these things. What is IT? Run IT means?
An interactive.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We'll try to make a little progress here today. And can you scroll all the way down? We would RM -- help. Let's say and that. So RM help. I don't have it. RM PSA 80 Jenkins. Let me try that. 80. Cool. Sounds okay. So 80 Jenkins. Okay, that's where we were. Let me bring this up. And so we installed the Jenkins and we did an RM of the images. There you go. Okay, so can you try to bring up the Jenkins on the server, Rahul? It looks like we have already installed Jenkins. I want you to bring up the Jenkins that we installed. It's a slightly tough one probably, but give a thought how you can bring it up.
Maybe we need to run this command.
You have already run the command. It looks like you have already installed it, isn't it? Can you check if there are any containers and images? Oh, you already, okay.
I removed all the containers.
Just check the images, see if you have any images.
Yeah, we have Jenkins.
So we do have Jenkins, and looks like what is up? What is the status? Bring up the container status.
No container.
Yeah, we don't have any containers running. So obviously we may, oh, okay. You did a remove RM of all containers manually. Okay, yes. So let's see. Docker run container. Remove the image, Jenkins, please. Okay. And now what we'll do, Jenkins is gone. Go ahead and for the sake of discipline, we'll run a few things so that we'll get an understanding of what is missing in this scenario. So let's say, like here, Jenkins. Wait one moment. Okay, we'll start with Docker run Jenkins / Jenkins. We'll go ahead and install and run the Jenkins. So Docker run Jenkins / Jenkins.
Should I run this one or normal?
Yeah, no, actually run the line 193. That's a good one.
Okay.
And while that is coming up, Rahul, here's a slightly tough question. What is the advantage of running it like this?
We can access this container over internet.
Excellent.
Using the public IP.
Excellent. So without port mapping, what will happen?
We cannot access from outside.
Very good. Cool. So let's go ahead and install it. And I think you're on node 1. So in the meantime, you may want to figure out, okay, yeah, figure out the IP address also. I think you kept double colon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good one.
Install suggested plugin.
Yeah, install the plugins, please. So now, do you remember, by any chance, do you recall, what did we do after installing plugins?
We created one user and job.
Excellent. As simple as that, we created a user and job. There was a problem we faced. By any chance, do you recall what is the problem?
Yeah, when we deleted this container, then those user we cannot able to see that those users and job.
We cannot.
We are not able to see this user or job.
We are not able to see the user or the job. Okay, very good. Okay, good one. Yeah, go ahead and create a user, please. Create a job. If you also noticed all the plugins installed successfully today.
Yes.
Okay, why do you think so, Rahul? Tough question. I think last time
we were doing same thing last time also.
Exactly. So what do you think was the problem? That's a tough question. No answer. It's probably possible some of the servers were down and things like that is what my thinking is. Okay. We just gave some time and we are able to install it. Ideally, we can also look into the log files, but that's probably what we might end up finding.
What name should I give to this?
Or just give any name. Just say job one. Choose a freestyle project. Okay. You can just say yeah, just give a brief description, job one description, something like that. Pardon me. I think you can leave the rest of them the defaults. Save it. And okay, so go back to the jobs dashboard. Dashboard. Okay, so we have job one, we have created the user and things like that. Now stop the container. And before
from here.
Hold on one moment. Now rest of the guys, Shrishel, Aniket, Moin, and Sai, are you all guys with me, guys? Are you all understanding what we have done so far? Can you give me a quick yes, please? For you to kind of catch it and recall some of these steps. Let's say Sai, Aniket, Shrishel, Moin. Okay. So in other words, short and sweet, what we have done is we have installed the Jenkins web server and we have added some data to it, if you recall. Now we're going to stop. Now what is happening is the container is running in the background and we have successfully, in other words, you may have any kind of web application. If the web application is put into a container and you're given the container, what can we do? We can deploy it anywhere. That's what we did. We are using the port mapping, we're able to deploy. So for any kind of web application, we follow a similar process. You do the port mapping, you expose it at a container level. We are not going to much more further microscopic level, and we are not installing any of the things manually, because that is fundamentally the problem the DevOps are facing. Anytime they don't have the container, and the build team or the release team has to manage any environmental issues, they run into all kinds of environmental issues. So at a developer's standpoint, if they're able to plug it into a container at a release and at a release management level, at a build management level, we don't have to worry much about it, is what is the point behind it. Okay, so now stop the container, please. Control C here. Okay, now go back to the browser, refresh it. Let's give it a moment. So what does that mean, Rahul?
We have stopped the container, so that's why we are not able to.
So short and sweet, our container itself is acting like a virtual machine, as if it's a server.
Yes.
It's more precisely a lightweight virtual machine, which is even better than virtual machine, which is even better than maintaining a physical server. Catching it, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. So now what we'll do, we'll come back here and we'll lost the data. And okay, one more time. Okay, now we'll give it another option. Go back to, we'll create a directory called my data, my-data. And just verify in which directory you are. Okay, so we're under root and we're in my data. Okay, for the sake of now, bring up docker run -p8080 :8080 and -b for Victor. After 8080, put -b for Victor. And let's give the path /root/my-data : my-data : put a colon. And here it will be under /var, say var var, and there will be Jenkins_home. Jenkins_home. And copy this command, don't execute it for a moment. Oh, what did you do? You didn't run it, did you?
No, I haven't run it.
Okay. So copy this line. And what you do is, first, we'll verify /var/Jenkins. See what is under there. Jenkins_home, it should be. In other words, what I mean is remove this one, delete this command, and first verify what's in that directory Jenkins_home.
Yeah.
This is ls /var/Jenkins_home.
But this Jenkins home is there in the host system, or we need to check inside the container?
Oh, my bad. We are in the host.
Yeah.
No. 1 minute. We are now mounting the volume.
Yeah.
The host generally, just do an ls on /var, because all the containers information, /var. And let's see, we don't have it. Let's say go into opt, list the opt, opt, buddy.
Yeah.
List it. Nothing is there. Okay. So we, so under the var, where is it storing the Docker? Docker is somewhere over here. It's software volumes and all those things. We'll see that. Maybe it's in lab, or maybe we can do a find and grab for Docker. Just under, go to /var, /var, enter. Yeah, sorry. And now just do a find a space dot. Enter. So it should list all of them. Control C. You can Control C it. Now, say, bring up the same thing. Find space dot and grep for Docker. So it looks like it's under the lib folder. Yeah, I can see it. It's under the lib folder. And there's a diff etc. Okay, no, we'll come back to that. I think I got it. I just wanted to make sure it's under the lib. There you go. Cool. So those are the volumes and things like that. So when if we were to remove the container or the image, these are all the files which will get ultimately deleted, and that's what I'm trying to prove. So get back to your root directory. Yeah, CD. And let's see, I think we created a directory called my data, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and paste that command that we just typed. Okay, let's say how about docker run -p8080. And -v for Victor. Just one moment, sorry about that, guys. Pardon.
Yeah.
And let's say you are giving the volume to be root my data and Jenkins. And also we'll add another switch or what you say, instead of Jenkins, yeah, -u roots after Jenkins _ home, say -u for umbrella.
Jenkins
is -u for umbrella. Root. Jenkins. No, not /root. Just root. Yeah. Now enter it. So -v is going to volume mount it, or that's the volume we're mounting. Enter. And there is environment variables. Warning is okay. Copy the password. Go ahead, bring it up. Let's install it. Okay.
the create user.
Yes. You can create the job also, please.
Yeah.
Cool. Then go to the, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then so we have the job now. Now stop the container. And now let's just, for the sake of discipline, go to the /var and the data, my data. Pardon me. Go ahead and look at the my data. Just do an ls on that. We have some files. My data, okay. So you see that config XML. Probably just to do an LSLTR, please. On my data. And it looks like jobs, secret. So both of them are, we have users, which is a directory. So let's go into jobs, go into the directory jobs or the LTR, the jobs, the last directory. Pardon me. So, and there's job one. And also go do a recursive LSR, that one.
LSR.
I think LSR, right? Let's see if it gives a detailed list. LSR. Okay, what is the LS-R? I think.
Yeah, we are already using this LTR. So capital.
LTR. Is it? Does it? LTR. Okay, you're right. Okay, go manually into that one. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Into directory, jobs directory. And go into that one. I just want to get to the file where we have that data saved. List it. We still have, so probably builds this directory from the color of it. Just LTR it. And permanence, no. Config.xml, go ahead and cat the config.xml. Maybe that's where the data is getting saved. Okay, and this is Hudson and false. Okay, actually we don't need to care. This is the first job, there you go. That is the description, that is the data. It's storing in the file, it's calling it as config. So probably if you now go back to your CD and my data, in the users directory, just like this, all the users information is, users data is getting saved, okay? So now, go ahead and have you stopped the container?
Yes.
So there it is. If you stop the container, you shouldn't be able to access it. And even if you were to remove the container or the image, we still have the data saved here. Catching the point, Rahul?
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, what did we do? We just mounted a volume to wherever.
Yes.
Okay, now let's see. We'll increase the complexity and see what we have. We'll try to create an image by itself. Until now, we've been downloading the existing images, but we'll try to create an image by ourselves and try to get a feel of some of the components of the image and things like that, okay? So let's say the first thing that we need to do is we need to have a Docker file. So just go ahead and say vi Docker file. We'll first go back to CD, to root directory. Okay, now create a Docker file, vi Docker file, capital D and small f. That is convention. And let me go ahead and I guess I will need to copy this one. Give me one thing. Give me a second. Let me see if I have the app.py. Okay, let me try this one. Let me copy this one. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this into chat window. Okay, copy paste this one. Okay, point. So if you notice, there is certain difference between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. What do you think is difference? What is this? What do you observe?
Difference between the left hand side and right hand. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just confusing you. The simple one, the left-hand side words, they're in capitals, and on the right-hand side, they're not capitals. Catching it, buddy?
Okay, yeah.
In terms of the Docker terminology, oops. In terms of the Docker terminology, the left-hand side words are referred as the instructions, and the right-hand side are called as the arguments. And
yes.
Again, going into the terminology of the Docker, each line is one layer, is another way to think of it. A group of layers will become an image. Catching it, buddy?
Yes.
So now save it, and so before we save it, so now notice from Ubuntu, which refers to where you're going to be using the Ubuntu operating system. Then run apt-get. So apt-get update, apt-get install. This is where we're installing Python and all the necessary apt-get update modules and dependencies and things like that. That is the second layer. In the third layer, we're going to install a couple of packages called Flask and Flask MySQL. These are the Python packages, which are generally used in real world for creating the UI applications, the API, and the REST-based applications and things like that. At a high level, if you have an idea, that is enough. You don't need to go into the details of those things. That's more of a Python development. But in other words, Flask and Flask MySQL are a couple of packages of Python is what you may want to keep in mind. Then what we have is the copy module or the task here. We're going to be copying some source code from the opt folder source code from dot to opt. I think there should be a space after dot. Put a space after dot. From the current folder, we're going to be copying into opt and so on. Yeah, insert. And Flask app entry point is where we are telling Docker, once this container is launched, go ahead and launch the application in the container. This is where the source code file is, which will start the application and run it. And that is the syntax, app.py flask run. That is generally the syntax which we should use. Are you with me so far, Rahul?
Yes.
Now we're going to be using this multiple times. So I'm just going to make sure. Let's say Shri Shail Surbi, everybody else with me? Are you catching it? Can you give me a quick yes, please? Are you with me so far? Okay, thank you. So go ahead and save it, write and quit.
Yeah.
And let's see, what did you save this as? Let's say we have Docker file. Okay, now what we'll do is just verify what are all the containers which are running. PSA, Docker PSA. We have the container, the two Jenkins containers running, which is okay. We'll try to delete them later. But let's say, before we use the Docker file, let's go ahead and run these things individually just to get a feel of it and discipline and see how Docker file is going to help us, Rahul. So just say Docker run -it. Let's say, list the images, please. First, list the images. Do you have Ubuntu? Remove the Ubuntu image. Good. Very good. Now, let's say we'll start with installing the Ubuntu image. So run the Ubuntu image, Docker run -it Ubuntu bash.
Dash.
Yes. Ubuntu space bash. Cool. Enter. So it's pulling the Ubuntu OS. So this is going to be the base operating system. Next, we'll say apt-get install -y Python.
Here inside the container.
Yes. So we're manually installing Python. This is because the Docker file.
Okay. -go.
Install -.
Enter.
Yeah, enter. So if you recall, unable to locate the package. Yeah, we're so what do you do when you get this message, Rahul? By any chance you recall? Okay. So in other words, apt get is not updated.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you do?
apt update. apt get update.
Yes. Go ahead and run that. Cool. Then run the Python. Then install Python. Okay. Just type in Python. Looks like you're installing Python. True. Strange. Just install. Just say Python. Enter. 2.7. Strange. Maybe we should have said Python 3. Okay, that's okay. Control D. Come out of that. Okay. So notice again you're in the Docker container rooted. Yeah. Okay. So we installed Python. Next, let's go ahead and install Flask. pip install Flask.
Enter.
Yes. So what do you do?
apt get installed.
Very good. apt get install Python pip. Python -pip. As
Python 3 maybe. Should I do Python 3?
Python 3 here. Okay, just verify Python. True. Okay, you can come out of Python, quit the Python. And let's see. Install the Flask. pip install Flask.
Enter.
Yeah. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll create a file called app.py. For that, we'll put that in opt, say vi space /opt/app.py. I'll give you a copy here. Copy this down. Yeah.
We are not.
We are not found. What else is there? Try nano. We are in the container, right? Ubuntu.
No.
Yeah, just say cat less than space /opt/app.py. Cat space less than /opt/app.py. Press enter.
We haven't created this file.
Haven't created.
App.py.
Just touch it. Now say cat, or we can install VI also, can be. Okay, it doesn't really let you enter anything here. Try installing VI. apt-get install VI or VIM, I think. We try okay, let's see. We try what is that? Unable to locate VIM. Right. Okay. Copy paste the one I sent you. Oh, sorry, I didn't send you. One moment. Copy this. Paste this here. Okay. Take a look at this. Okay. So now, quickly, give me a code walkthrough of what each line is doing here for sake of discipline, Rahul. It's a slightly tough.
Yeah, we are first importing this OS library. Then we are from class, we are importing class, and then
Do you remember what is OS?
it's for the for getting the information about the system. This library.
Okay. So, okay, continue.
Yeah, so app route.
I need to recall what is happening in line 3.
Line 3 it is
Pardon me. So, in other words, short and sweet is just creating an object of Flask. Okay.
okay.
The next one is a kind of decorator that's slightly an advanced concept. You don't need to worry about that. So that is more of a something that we will use to access our root of the application. That's what the app.route is. But what is main?
The main is the method. We are creating method and returning welcome.
So in other words, main is a function. Okay. What is special about hello?
Special about what? Main.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a slightly tough question. If you look at it in app.route, it says, how are you? You can put it for now. We'll just say, how are you there is what it is. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we have the main entry point. This is internally the double underscore name underscore is equals to main is referred as the entry point of running a Python application. When you run on a Python script or a package, the app.run triggers the rest of the things inside it. So when you say app.run, the main will be run here. That's something you need to keep in mind. I may ask you to force you to remember that one, okay?
Oh, so when will this hello method will run?
See, that is what we are about to see. We are going to use it like a web API here. That's what Flask is used for, okay?
Okay.
So write and quit it. Okay, so just verify cat opt app file. And let's see, Flask it, creating an object, main, hello. Looks everything seems to be good here. Okay, so now let's say, let's get into the directory cd space / opt. And let's say, let me send this to you. Let's copy this one. We need to run the Flask app. And now remember, go into the directory, cd opt. Enter buddy. Yeah. Opt directory. And here is, I'm pasting this one. Use this, run this. This is the Flask app. Go ahead and run this one. Okay. So let's say, so notice it's using the port number 5000. So let's go ahead and bring up the access this Flask app on that one, on the, what do we call, browser.
First, maybe we need to open that port.
Yeah, you need to open that one, but okay.
Should I open?
Yeah, for a moment, what I'm thinking is, without really opening it, just go ahead and try to access it.
Okay.
Okay, now behind the scenes created while that is coming up.
It's still not running.
Have you refreshed it? Using public IP, right? Use slash. Can you put a 5000 / there? After 5000, put slash. Let's go. Okay. Mapping back to 5000. Okay, let's give. It's not coming up, right? Go back to the container and copy that 172 thing. Yeah. Use that IP. Back to the container. Go back to the container. Keep both the windows on. Reduce the size of this little bit so that we can see both of them at one time. It should be able to log some stuff here. It's working. Let's give it a moment. Put this on the right hand side. Put the blue screen on the right hand side. Is the private? Yeah, we're getting the private IP. Yeah, private IP shouldn't be accessible. I'm just doing it for the sake of it. And the public IP is correct, right, buddy?
Yeah, public IP.
Or the ET also.
I will try.
This is 5000.
Maybe we need to put right Shubhamit as Shubhamit to the systems as well.
Yeah, we need to do the mapping. Who's that? Shubham? I'm just thinking. Open the port 5000. And he brought it up on the host, right? I need to see. I have the Flask port. Come back here. Say Flask. So changing the port in Flask. Okay. Okay. port equal to, I say, need to give the port equal to 8000. Last run. What did we do? Go back to the container window for a moment. And let's see if what we have done is we have set flask run -os. Stop that one.
Okay.
And let's say, go back to the app.py for a moment. Let's check the slightly long one.
Yeah.
Yeah, vi. And the app.run will manually specify given argument. Okay, let's see if I can get this one. Let's say, copy this one. Environment variable. We'll take a shortcut here. Come out of the app.py, we'll take another shortcut rather than changing the source code. We'll export this one. Export flask run port to 8000.
Where in this command inside the container or?
Yeah, inside. Let's see, where did we come back? Oh. Yeah, the Flask app has run inside the container body, and then we need to get access this port outside actually. Tested it on a export the Flask run port to 8000. Is this the 80 we opened earlier, right?
Yeah, we have opened 8080 and currently we have opened this 5000.
It's running in the container, but this is the Flask port, and I'm just seeing how to map back to the external. A moment. By default, it's running on 5000, but we need to. Sorry about that. Looks like I missed this one. Curl. You can do a curl, right? Do one thing. Go back to your black window. Sorry. Go back to the blue window once. Go ahead and bring up the Flask one more time, just from the port 5000. Bring it up.
Should I run this command or?
Run it. Yes, enter. Oops.
So 1 minute. Enter.
Okay, so now we're running. Now go to the other window. Let this be like this and go to the other window, which is the black one, and type in curl. You this again. No. Okay, for sake of discipline, SSH into the node 1. Okay, now here say curl and go to the blue window, copy the IP address of that 172 thing. Yeah, copy that, paste it there. What is it? Put a / after 5000. Yeah, enter. See that? Welcome.
Yeah.
Cool. Now what you do is go to the op directory.
On blue window. Okay. Here only.
Yeah, are you there at the op directory? Yeah. Go into the directory. VI the app.py.
We created that inside the container. And here we are in the host.
My bad. That is inside the container, right? We need to get back into the container. So in other words, if you need to get back to the container like this to modify, I want to modify it. Okay, just for sake of discipline, I'll take a slightly simple route. This is just for you to get familiar. It will be useful in giving you an idea. Don't take a full listening. Go back to the blue window. Stop the Flask server. Stop the Flask via the app.py. Now just say where there is welcome, say welcome Rahul. In the main function, just change it to welcome Rahul. And write it, quit it, bring up the import again. And now come back to the black window, test it again. So see that it's picking the code change and things like that. Whenever the code is getting changed, we are picking up the response here. Okay, how to map a Flask port to the external port? I'll try to look into it later. Now what you do is you also test, say curl, one more time, bring that up, the previous command. And there you type in house space R space U. Okay, yeah, that I'll get back. You can do it, you, and press enter. So what you do, how are you give it in double quotes? Error message, so question mark, so it's not picking up. So in other words, okay, what you do is go back to the, that one, that container, stop the Flask server. Stop the Flask server via app.py. Copy hello, that app route, how are you, or just modify how are you without a space. Remove those spaces there. It's one word. To keep it simple, we'll later figure it out. Write it, quit it, start the Flask. Now come back here and curl, how are you? You do remove the double quotes also. Yeah. I'm good. How about you? Catching it?
Yes.
Okay. So ideally, the developers will go ahead and plug in all those URLs and the REST in the form of REST APIs and things like that, whatever they want. Whether they want to save the data, update the data, and any other process modifications will be done from a developer or code point of view. When the clients, here the client is our Ubuntu terminal, and we're using the private IP address here. We'll later figure out how to access it on the public IP. But here, more precisely, let me see. Are you catching the point here, Rahul?
Yes.
So we
are able to whenever we are changing this path, we are getting different. Good. Means that the different methods are getting called.
Good. So here, the only thing that we are doing different is we are stopping the Flask server. We're modifying the source code manually. Ideally, in a real world, you will not modify the source code manually within the container. The source code will be modified by somebody else and maybe given it to you. You'll put it back into the container.
Yes.
If at all, that is also not really required. The manager, there might be other team who's taking care of it, but we will look at administering the containers and things like that. Okay.
Maybe to access this on a public IP, whenever at the time we are creating the container, maybe at that time we have to do post.
Sorry about that, buddy. I went on mute. Let's see. What was your question? Rahul?
I'm telling maybe to to access this website over public IP, maybe we need to do port mapping when at the time we are creating this container.
I gotcha.
Right.
Or suggesting good advice. Yeah, that makes sense. And since Flask is starting at 5,000, and yeah, actually that makes sense there. And I think what was the option switch -v? No, -v is for volume. -p, right?
Yeah.
When we started the container, we did not do a history.
Yeah.
We don't even to do a history here. Let's see if you're able to pick up the history of that terminal here. Let's see how we started the container.
Maybe we need to do sudo.
So what did we do? We did Jenkins and we demo. It's not picking up. I think it's picking up yesterday's, but let's see. Let me see. Stop the Flask on the blue one. Let's see what was mapping, how we started the container. I think we'll need to come out of the container, isn't it? Yeah. Let me see. Before you come out of the container, let me see if I can verify something here. Install Flask. Okay. So we brought up. Okay. So in other words, what we'll do is, no, we did not bring up the container, Rahul. If you recall, what we are doing here is, we are trying to understand how to do these steps manually with a Docker, without a Docker file. That is what my objective here is. This is all. Now what we'll do is we'll automate all these steps. That's where we're going to Dockerize this one, catching it, buddy.
Yes.
We have not, we manually went into the container and we are operating from within the container. Now we'll try to do it. Okay. So come out of the container. You can exit, I think. Back in the thing. Now, what you do is you create the Docker file. Or before you create a Docker file, just verify in which directory you are. You're in root directory. Okay, let's create a directory called web app. mkdir web app. Okay, now go to the directory. And vi Docker file, capital D, small f. Copy paste one I sent you. Do you need a minute break, Rahul?
Yes.
Okay, let's maybe take a 8-minute break. We'll regroup by 25, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. I'm back, Rahul. Are you back, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry about the delay. I had to be on the call. Let's see. Okay. So save the Docker file once you share your screen, please.
Yes. Yeah. I created this.
Is the one that I sent you. I sent you in the chat window. None of the meeting. Okay. Srishel is not meeting. Okay. And let's see, Ubuntu apt get installed. So we're installing, we're updating the get, installing Python. I think that is Python 3-pip, right? Change that to Python 3-pip.
Yeah, Python 3.
Then I think we're installing Flask. Yeah, I think for this Flask is enough. And we're copying app.py to opt app.py, and entry point is opt. And okay. So let's see, have you modified it to Python 3? Okay, then I think rest of it looks good. You can write and quit. And let's see, verify the containers, please. Which are the containers which are up and running? So we have 41 minutes, Ubuntu Jenkins. Okay, we'll keep it like that. Let's go ahead and do a Docker space build space dot. So this will, and build an image. Dot means the current directory. Yeah, it will look at the Docker file and it will do all the steps that we have done manually. Enter. So I think, so each line, if you recall, is one layer. So that's Ubuntu.
Yes.
So this is a scenario where somebody said, just in case they ship their source code and ask you to build an image, you can do that. These are some of the steps.
So to build the image, always we first need to create this Docker file, right?
Yes. Docker file is the one where we list the dependencies and other things here.
Okay.
Pip is not found. Pip install Flask. Pip, I think instead of pip, you can also change that to apt get, right? Or maybe just say pip3, I think. Back into the VI file, back into the app.py, you could say apt get install.
App.py or Docker?
Yeah, sorry, Docker file, my bad. Thank you. Third line.
Third line, pip3.
Pip3, just give it a try. Let's run it. If you notice, the first two run very quickly. That's another concept here, just to be aware of. And file not found, Docker ignored, stat app. Just do an ls. Oh, we have it in our opted, right? Okay, ideally we should have had the app. Just for sake of discipline, copy the opt ap.py into this directory, into dot. Or move /opt/app.py here. App.py and just say app, yeah, dot. That's okay. What's up? Just say opt cannot. Acha, my bad. I think our that was there in the container, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Go back to the chat window and I think we need to copy your app.py from the previous one. Let's see if I have it. Okay, I have it here. Yes, welcome. And I think you said Rahul here. So there's Rahul. Copy this one and we'll remove how are you just for sake of keeping it simple. We'll change this to this one. So I copy this one. Pasting it in the chat window. One more time. There you go.
So should I create that file app.py here?
Yes. Paste it and how are you? I think everything looks good. You can go ahead and write and quit. Okay. And just verify it, ls. And just do a cat on Docker file. So copy app.py to opt app.py, and that's going to happen in the container now. So now say build dot, docker build dot. Enter. Successfully built. Okay.
Yes.
In entry point. Okay. It's removing the intermediate container. Okay. So now what do we do? Oh, sorry. We need to, I did not give the tag name. Actually, repeat that step. Docker space build space dot space hyphen T for Tom, and say my web app. One word.
My web app.
Yeah, my web app. My one word, no hyphens. Keep it simple. Enter. It should run. So since all the layers are already built, they're automatically getting cached. So that's why it's not taking that time. Anytime it builds a layer, it gets cached. That's a slightly important thing to be kept in mind. As a result of the Docker is improving the performance of the images and the containers. Rahul, are you catching it? Buddy?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let's say now verify the images. So my web app is the image, and verify the containers. The last one is the affectionate Thompson. That's 5 minutes ago. I think this is the previous container. We haven't stopped it. It's still running, I think. And
it is exited all right.
Yeah, it is exited. Okay, my bad. Okay. So I think now what we'll do, say Docker run, Docker space run space, my web app. So we have built the image manually. Now we're going to run it here, my web app.
Enter.
Import main file init.py line 1. Can you cat the app.py? Import OS from Flask, import Flask. Looks good. File / user / bin / line 7 in module flask.cli import main from flask.cli import main from markup safe import escape. Cannot import name escape. I'm just thinking it may have copied some escape characters which we are not able to see is what I'm thinking. But let's say,
or it is using
local Python 3.5 distribution by this line 1. Let's see. Can you copy paste the 3 lines of error into the chat window for a moment?
Yes.
Okay. Just copy this. One moment, please. I'm just looking at the error. Cannot import soft Unicode. Can doesn't work on Python 3.5. It's not able to import it. What did we do? We installed. Can you cut the Docker file, please? Oops, pardon me. Python 3. And in the container, we were able to work with Python 2, right?
Yes, yes.
So there is apt-get install Python. Oops, pardon me. Oops. Sorry. Okay, just looking at this, looks like everything is good. Okay. The only difference that I'm seeing is we have installed Vim in the container and then we modified it, which is okay, which we don't need it. One moment, please.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, Rahul.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oops. Stop flask.
Maybe we need to do this from markup space import space. We need to add that.
No, I don't think from markup import space is what it is saying. Class MySQL. Oh, it's going to be, sorry about that. So it runs on mine, but I don't know why. The only thing is Python 3 was, if you, it's using Python 3. Just type in Python, please.
Python 3.
Just type in Python. We have 3.8 on the host machine is 3.8, but ideally over there, I think I tested it on 3.7. And this is exactly an environmental issue that works on one and using 3.5. Pip 3, oh, there you go, my bad. Updating pip, or in other words, okay. Okay, let's do this. Change that pip 3, go edit the Docker file. And instead of say pip 3, change that to apt-get.
apt-get.
Pip 3 install Flask. And that is what we tried earlier. That's one of the, we have, let's see. We have done pip install. At the time of installing, also, apt-get install, okay, looks good. Python 3 pip. And strange.
Yeah, as Shubham is saying also that, like, previously we are using only pip. This time we are using pip 3. So maybe that's all.
Upgrade pip. Previously also we used pip only, right?
Yeah, we have used pip only. This time we are using pip 3.
Instead of apt-get, we had pip or pip 3.
Previously we are using pip. This time we are using pip 3. So that's why maybe we are getting error.
Pip 3 install upgrade pip. Okay. So we continue. Let's do that. Let's try that as option 2. Just go ahead and build the so write and quit.
Yeah.
And you need to build the
Name should be same or different?
Same.
I'm able to locate the package.
So apt-get install Flask return a non-zero code. So okay. Go ahead and read the pip there. So in there, pip 3 install, add another line back to the doc file. And where are we doing? Instead of Python 3 pip, you can add another line. Just say Python and remove the right-hand side part of it. The Python 3 pip. You can remove that. In the next line, we'll say run. Pip 3 install hyphen upgrade pip. Pip 3, please install hyphen upgrade. Pip. And copy that line and just put it in the chat window so that I have a record of that, just in case that works. Copy that. Paste it in chat window. Okay. And now build it again.
Yeah, we need to do this pip 3 also. Install.
Install Python 3 pip as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So So put that back, Python.
Okay.
And just copy paste both of them, both the lines. Put it in chat window for my record, please. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
One moment, Rahul.
Okay.
For one moment. Please try that. Rahul, can you try to build it and just give me one moment, buddy? I'll step out and we'll be back. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sorry about that, Rahul. I had to step out here. But let's see.
It is not working.
You tried PIP3 install Flask also.
Yeah.
Even that is not working. Huh?
No.
Strange. And so these are exactly the problems of the environments and things like that, Rahul. Are you getting a catch of that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's see, let's give it a moment here. What was the change you just made?
This time I am installing Python 3.
Oh, okay. Oops.
Yeah, still we are getting same error. Even when I change the
So strange, man. PAP, run PAP3. In step 4, can you just quickly change that PAP3 to PAP install Flask? Have you tried that?
yeah, I have tried that only. It is saying not able to find.
One more time, can you just change that
Yes, yes, yes.
for me, buddy?
Yes.
Instead of PAP3, just change that to PAP install Flask.
And should I change this Python 3?
No, keep that.
We are getting the same.
One moment. From internal distribution package management system. Can you cat the app.py just one more time before I take up your time?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't see anything different here. Okay. Name, how are you? Wow, I'm surprised. Okay. I'll look into this and I'll get back to you, buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. The multiple file. Okay. There is, I wanted to increase the scenario, increase the complexity with a little bit of Docker Compose. Maybe I'll save that for tomorrow and see if I'm able to look into this one. And Rahul, if you also happen to find a little bit of time, buddy, just see if you're able to play around a little bit with this and try to look around and see if you're able to come up with a fix. That will also be helpful for me.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, buddy. So let's say, just make note of this. Can you copy the Docker file, put it in chat window, cat the doc file, paste it in chat window.
Which one? Which you have previously pasted?
Docker file.
Okay. Okay. I paste my Docker.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Previously we are only using Ubuntu. This time we are using Ubuntu 16. Maybe this is the issue.
Oh, 1 second. Let me see. This is the Docker file. Ah, good catch. Let's see. Yeah. Please change that. Let's see if that will help us. And I think the Flask is still continuing to haunt me, but we'll see. App install Flask should be good. Give a capital U just for the sake of discipline in Ubuntu.
Should I change this Python 3?
Pardon me?
Should I change this Python 3 to Python?
No, that's okay. That's good.
Lowercase. You're saying you should use lowercase.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It has references of Python 3.8. And is it? Remove all the images, please. You can say Docker images, Docker RM I star. Enter. Okay, Docker. Well, how are we looking at the Docker images, please? Let's see which one is the highest size. We have 460, right? Yeah. Try deleting some of them. The top two, get their image IDs. You can copy multiple of them and paste something. Unable to delete image is being used. Okay, stop the container, please. You can say Docker stop, container ready.
Stop or RM?
Stop. Okay. Response. Image is being used by stop the container.
Okay.
Okay. Are you still getting there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we need to do RM.
That's when you're getting this error, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Good. Okay, just check the Docker images again. You may want to delete the My Web App image also. Must force hyphen container. It's okay.
Yeah.
And okay, why don't you delete one more MySQL also, please? Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, now build. Now I think what we'll be doing. We were trying to build one. This dot -t or something. On top of that, I'll say just use history. Enter.
Yeah, it is got successful.
Very good. So the difference was the Ubuntu, right?
Maybe.
Okay. So now go ahead and say, just verify the images. We do have the image and just verify the containers. And now I think we can go ahead and run my web app, Docker run my web app. Okay, so it's now mapped to port 8080.
Yes.
External port, right? 8080. Can you just we'll first do this one, which is accessing from the internal terminal, the black terminal.
Yeah.
Do a curl 8080.
Yeah.
And how are you? Cool. Okay. Now, just for sake of discipline, bring up that one, the browser. Exit on the external IP. You sure that is IP, right?
Yes. Okay. Not working.
Okay. So I still need to figure out how to access that external IP, Rahul. I'll see if I
Yes.
can spend some time on that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to a little bit of Fanciful for today, buddy, before I take a slightly more complex topic. And let's see, let me save that for tomorrow. Do you want a break or shall
Yes.
we?
Yes.
Okay. Even I'm tired. Just take a short 5-minute break and come back.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, 5,000, 5,000. Okay, Rahul, I'm back, buddy.
Yes.
Let's log in as Ans admin. Oh, Rahul, one moment before you log in as Ans admin. We have run the Docker run my web app, right? Now
Yes.
go ahead, stop this one.
Yes.
And it's not stopping it. Control Z. Pardon me?
Control C and Control D also not working.
Strange. Control C. Control. I think it just needs a second, I think. But I just happen to see the port mapping. It's just a -P, Rahul. That's the one we just need to do to map it to map the port of it to the
Yes.
host. So I missed that. Sorry about that. How come this is not stopping? Can you try one more time?
Yeah, I'm pressing Control C.
Oh, okay.
Should I stop it from other system?
Yeah. Try stopping it. Stopping the container from the black one. Stop it and remove it. Okay. Try removing the container. Oh, there you go. You're out. Now remove the container also. Okay, so now come back to the blue window. Now let's say bring up the Docker run command and Docker run space -P and port is okay. We can go with 8080:8080 and also -U root and then say my web app -U space root. Now say my web app. Okay, let's see. So it's up. So now try to access the external IP.
Yeah.
Just type in / how are you. Cool.
Yes.
Okay, good. So that is so here what we have is we have the source code. We are manually building the image, and generally we don't have to. You probably don't have to touch the source code and things like that directly. You'll probably be maybe you might end up being building the images, or maybe you might be assisting in building the images and things like that. We'll look at a few more complex scenarios. Rahul, okay, buddy?
Okay.
Rest of the team, is it making sense, guys? Can you give me a quick yes, please? Humera, Sai, Surabhi, Aniket, and Moin. Okay. Okay, so let's see where we are. I'm back to Ansible. Get back to Ansible. We'll do a few Ansible exercises. See if we can take a few more. You can, I think for today, you can stop it. If you're able to stop it.
Yeah.
You may want to go to and segment because that's where we are following all the stuff. Look at the history, please. Let's see where we are. U plus install Docker. Or are we performing?
Maybe we are performing from the root.
Is it the root or the controller?
It is a, sorry, we are performing from the controller.
Ah, yeah, exit back to the controller. Still on. Okay. So let's see. I think we were getting started with the playbooks and things like that.
Yes.
This one, so name state present. What is state present?
We are installing this package on the target.
Okay. And what is state absent?
Absent means checking whether it is not there.
Uninstalling. State equals to absent mean uninstalling, Rahul.
Yeah.
What is hyphen B?
Running as a root.
Root. What is hyphen A?
Hyphen A is arguments. We are passing arguments.
What is hyphen M?
Modules.
Simple as that. So in other words, we are not focusing on the code, we are focusing on the configuration.
Yeah.
And that is what is the language of the configuration is what it is about, okay? And scroll up a little bit, please. What does raw module do?
Raw module, it is
it will execute the Linux commands, buddy.
yeah.
Okay. And let's see now here. Back in control. So these are okay. Variables. Inventory home. Have we talked about the variables, Rahul?
No.
Passwordless and segment. Okay. Okay, I think we were getting started with the playbooks. Let's see. We'll look at the variables also. So I think what you did was, if you look at the line numbers 431 till 436, about 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 packages we're manually installing, buddy. Okay. What we'll try to do is we'll automate things in the form of playbook. So let's say vi pv1.yml and copy the line. Copy the lines from 431 till 436 first. Now 430 till 4, or no, from 434 to 36. Okay, copy them. Now vi, just give any name, pb1.yml. And yeah, remove the first lines. Okay, so we'll need to convert this into a YML language. For that, what we'll do is, just so that we understand, go to the 4th line, add another line. You can comment above 3 lines.
Okay.
Add a 4th line. Pardon me. With a hyphen, hyphen, hyphen. Rather than saying, let me see if I can send this to you to keep it simple. And copy this one. Let's try to this one. Remove the hyphen and paste this one. I'm sending you. Just send you paste that one. But that was good catch. Removing the Ubuntu 16.04, it took care of that one. That was a good catch, Rahul. Thank you very much.
Should I save it?
Okay, so host is all, and we already have given become as use and tasks as young. Name is duplicate, state is present. Module we are using M. Okay, so what I'm doing is host is all. What do you think is host all means?
We are specifying the host on which server should run.
As simple as that. So what is the objective you think here?
We are running this. We are checking whether this wget is there or not. We are installing it on all the servers.
As simple as that. Okay, go ahead and write and quit, save it. And now, before we run this one, look at that one. I think we have to go into my directory, right? My directory.
Yes, yes.
So we will copy the pb1 into that file, into the directory, my dir / prod. I think you have to, yeah, my dir / prod backup. Okay, now navigate to the directory. Verify it. Okay, cat it. Okay, so now we'll just go ahead and run it. Just say Ansible -playbook. Ansible hyphen, one word, buddy. -playbook. Base pb1.yml. Oh, no, my bad. Let's verify the host, buddy. First, see what is in our Ansible.cfg. You may want to -15. At -15 Ansible.cfg. And we are referring to my host, cat it. So we have web, we have DB. Also, rest of them are commented, okay. And okay, now let's go ahead and Ansible playbook. Just give 1.yml. Yeah, run it. So it's playing all tasks, gathering facts. Okay, so it's kind of slightly gives you a color. Changed equal to 0, okay equals to 2, which means it looks like it has executed successfully. But there is a small issue. Can you take a guess? What is that issue?
We are not able to see the output.
Or in other words, changed equal to 0 means it did not install. Okay equals 2 means it executed. Remember, if it is already there, it will not install. So go back to that file.
Okay means what is the this okay means?
It executed, but no change has been done.
Okay.
By any chance, do you remember what are facts mean? Gathering facts mean? Facts is nothing but the metadata of the system or the server.
Okay.
Actually, the system information and things like that, okay?
Okay, okay. Yeah, facts.
Okay. back to the file. And okay, just change the state to absent. Okay, run it again. Changed. Cool. So now changed equals to 1. So which means it has successfully changed. It has removed the wget. Catching it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then let's see. So that is, if you cat that file one more time, install the file or whatever that is, pb1. Sorry.
Yeah.
So host means all. We can give specific web or DB, which is specific groups.
Yes.
So we have one task. Now something to be kept in mind is the starting line is 3 hyphens. The second line has a space hyphen space, and then start the host. Okay. So host is always all the servers. Become yes. What do you think is become yes? Become yes means become root.
Okay.
Catching it, buddy.
Yes.
So now what you do is we'll VI the file. We have only one task here. We'll add another task here. Go ahead, VI. In the last line below the yum, add another line, exactly the same. You can copy paste that line. Instead of wget, change that to VIM. So now we have a play which has 2 tasks. A play can be thought of as group of tasks. Catching it, good.
Yeah.
Okay, start please.
Should I run it?
Yeah. So changed equals to 1, it says. What did it say? What did we do? We did a state equals to absent, right?
Yes.
Changed equals to 1 on 27 or on 52. State equals to, can you go ahead and modify the absent to present?
Both or only?
Both of them. Run it again.
Yeah, this time it is in 2.
Changed equals to 2 now, not changed equals to 1. Catching it, buddy?
Yes, yes.
Changed equals to 1 means it installed. Changed equals to 2, it has changed it, is what it is. And I'm thinking, changed equals to 2. And it will not install. If it is already there, it will not install. I know that. Okay, we'll come back to that one. Changed equal to 0 means it has not changed anything. Okay. So now what we have is we have, okay, let's back to the VI, back to that file. Copy the file. Copy from -host, the 5 lines. Copy all the lines, and then paste it again below that line and below the last line. Try to paste it there. Make sure the spacing is same. And so the host should be under the host. So I think you pasted one line this side.
Yeah, now it's correct.
Okay, so hosts become tasks and they're good. So now In the second host, change it to web. Change it to web. So we only on the web servers. And next, become is yes is okay task. Remove the second yum, keep the first yum, and put a Apache 2 instead of wget. You can remove the VM line. For now, we'll remove it. If we want later, we can add whatever we want. Escape DD will remove the line, buddy.
Both line or only one?
The second line you remove, the first yum you keep it.
Okay. Yeah, I removed.
Okay, now change the wget to, let's say, Apache 2. Okay, and write it, quit it, save it, and run it again. So we want the web server to be installed on the web server. On all the rest of the servers, we want wget and vim because they are the common packages and applications which are used on every server. Catching the point?
Yes, yes.
And let's see, we have changed equals to 1 on the 27 and 152 changed equals to 0. So what do you think that means?
Yeah, it only ran this Apache command on this host.
Because we just installed the vim and the wget on both the servers. Yes. No change on that one, catching it. Yes. So really what we can do is we can orchestrate whatever we want on different kinds of groups and things like that. So this is a scenario where multiple plays are happening, catching it, buddy.
Yes, yes.
So each play, a group of plays can be thought of as an orchestration. Yes. And okay, next take, let's say, let's try to see how to also add a few more tasks here. Let's run Ansible web -m copy.
Ansible space web.
Ansible web. And -m copy, -m for module. Copy. And -a. What is the file we created here in this file? We just created a pb1.yml, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Within double quotes, say source equal to pb1.yml. Source is src. And space destination. Source is pb1.yml space dest destination. Also equal to pb1.yml. Okay. Enter. So what do you think this is doing?
This is copying this YML file to this.
Good answer. In other words, that's a copy module. We're going from source to destination. Yes. Now, what is this line or what is this command called? It's a simple It is called an ad hoc command. It's like a simple Linux command.
Okay.
Okay. So now what we'll do is, okay, go back to the pb1.yml. And let's say we'll put it into web. So under tasks, after the last yum, add another line. Okay, we'll keep it like that for now. And say hyphen space copy colon space source src equal to what was our file name? pb1.yml. Destination equals to pb2.yml. pb2.yml. So now save it. Save it. And now before we run it, just SSH into the web server and just verify if that file is there, the pb1.yml. Catch it? Good. Cool, buddy?
Yes.
So now what is next task? We are doing the same thing from a playbook file. So exit out of this. Oh, now run the Ansible playbook. Copy it works. So web is group copying. So now let's say change equals 1. So go to the black terminal and check it from there, buddy. SSH into that IP. You're already, I think, already there. You need to be answered, man. Oh, that's okay. Whatever you like. Catching it? Rahul, are you catching it, buddy?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so multiple tasks we are plugging into this one. And let's say now back to VI, edit the file. And what do we have here? What we'll do is we'll to keep it simple, change the destination to pb3.yml. Okay, and under the host web, or let's say under the host all, where you between hosts and become, add another line and just say gather underscore facts : false. This is no. Delete that line.
Yeah.
On the first host.
First host.
On top on the first play rather. Host all is. You enter a new line there. Insert a new line after that. After host all. After host all.
Okay.
And say gather underscore facts : false. What does this left-hand side colon, right-hand side remind you of?
Key value.
Good answer. So everything is a key and value. Space and put false. Now run it again. So when you say play all, notice the gather facts is not happening on the top play, whereas for the second,
yes,
it gives a task called gathering facts. Are you observing it?
Yeah, it is only happening for the web.
Okay, can you think what is the problem with gathering facts?
Maybe it is taking too much space or collecting data which we do not require. Right?
In other words, imagine you have 10, 20, or maybe 50 or 100 servers asking every system, and it might just take 1 second or less than 1 second. But still, when you have a lot of servers, if you want to go ahead and gather facts, if it's really not necessary, you don't need to gather the facts.
Yes.
Maybe once or twice a day, you can gather the facts, and for the rest of the jobs and things like that, you never need to gather the facts. You just need to execute the task. Catching it, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And okay, the next and maybe the last one for today. Back to the pb1.xml. No, I'm sorry, YML. And let's say in the last line, after the copy module, also add another task, which is hyphen space file.
File,
F-I-L-E.
Find.
File, buddy.
Okay, file.
Okay, I think we may need to have a colon there. say path equals to maybe something like rahul.txt and state, yeah, space, state equals to touch, state. Okay, yeah. So multiple plays and multiple tasks going on. Run it, please. Okay, let's see what we have. Change equals to 1 and change equals to 0. Explain me, what is change equals to 1 and 0? Oh, sorry, you didn't execute. Sorry, you're looking at the previous one, I think. Okay. Equals to 2 and 0. Explain me.
Okay. Change 1 and change 2. First, we are copying this file to their destination, and then we are creating a new file called rahul.txt in the website.
Okay, short and sweet. We already have pb2.xml, so it's not changing it.
Yes.
Is one thing. Second thing, the touch is a file which we just created, is what it is. So if you go back to the black terminal and just verify. Catching it, buddy?
Yes.
Okay, so another task in the play. And we can, based on our needs and things like that, we can add as many tasks as possible and as many plays as possible in just one file. So this is referred as orchestration. Catching it, buddy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and okay, now just maybe one more because I have a few minutes here, not a complex one. Back to the VI file. And where you have host, insert name.
Yeah.
In other words, insert a new line at the place where you have hosts.
Here I need to.
Or let me simplify it, buddy. Delete the first 3 lines, the commented lines. Escape DD. Keep that. In the second line, where you have space, hyphen, space, insert a new line in front of hosts.
In front of host.
In the beginning of host. So we'll start with the name attribute rather than a host attribute is what I'm trying to convey. Let's see if it, okay. Okay, go ahead, say name colon. Just say this is first play. This is
First.
First, okay, yeah. Repeat the same thing for the second host also. So many times what happens is in real world, you may end up writing a lot of plays and things like that. You may want to be able to specifically look for certain plays and things like that. In such cases, the name will come to your rescue, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead and run it. See that? Play first.
Yeah, it is in first play.
Specifically something you're interested in, you're in debugging and things like that. Many of the times we are interested in specific areas. So we don't have to move our eyes all over and struggle. We can just focus on what we are looking for. Catching it, buddy.
Yes. Yes.
Now, let me see. Okay, just last 2 minutes, a simple one. Back into the file, put a name for each task.
Name for each task. Okay.
Yeah. Try to name the tasks.
Where should I say name?
So in other words, more precise, delete that line. Delete the line.
Yeah.
So where you have hyphen yum colon, right?
Yeah.
There you start with, so name. Before yum, put a name. Name, say name colon. Oops, where'd you put a? tab. Undo that, escape.
It automatically added that when I insert this folder.
Escape you.
Yes.
You'll be able to undo. That many spaces, it will complain. Yeah, YAML will make complain. So backspace it. Task on name colon insert. What do you say? This is installing Apache server.
Yeah.
So press enter and adjust that so that it comes under name. No hyphen. That belongs, those two attributes belong to that particular hyphen. That is one task. A space. Yeah. So just put another name for copy also, just for
Okay.
just understand that. Good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Save it. Run it again. There is the first plane. There is the second plane. Installing Apache server.
Yeah.
And
Optify.
you give whatever is more meaningful to you, and you try to make sure and ensure all the places are happening in the right order and write this thing. Everything is going to happen in a sequential order. Catching it, buddy.
Yes.
So there are also ways, there are more advanced ways where we can do them parallelly and things like that. If time permits, we'll discuss that in the coming up days. But for now, you think of watching each server sequentially and it's running it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So gentlemen, ladies, for today, any other questions before we wrap up? Rahul, how about you, buddy?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, if you don't have any questions, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap up. And you guys stay safe and keep learning, guys. Rahul, okay, buddy?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitesh. Thank you, Shubham, Shrisha. You guys take care. Again, stay safe and keep learning. Signing off for today. Thank you and bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.